Isa na namang action-packed na taon ang ina-expect natin sa 2017 sa dami ng mga major sports events na naka-line up ngayong taon. Siyempre, nandyan ang UAAP, local NCAA at US NCAA at ang NBA Finals. Andyan din ang volleyball season sa UAAP at NCAA.
At siyempre pa ang bakbakan ng top superstar athletes at teams sa tennis, football, American football at motorsports. And for more on these sporting events to watch out for ngayong 2017, kasama natin ang sports analyst na si Adrian Dy. Hi Adrian, good evening.
Happy New Year!
Happy New Year, Chinoy Hoops fan. Maraming salamat for your presence here on The Score. Adrian, I just want to start out first on ABL.
Right.
Kasi syempre carrying on from the 2016, ngayon papasok tayo. Of course, sa ating bagong taon, I want to talk about ALA Pilipinas. They're currently at third at 2-2. I think right now they have major reinforcements. And can you talk about what will we expect dito ngayon sa papasok ng 2017 with ALA Pilipinas?
Well, yung interesting as you mentioned, yung dalawang bagong import nila. So their names are Samson Carter and James Hughes. And so what they bring to the team is they bring more height and they bring youth. Kasi before, when they had the two Korean brothers who were imports, they were 30 plus years old. They're shorter than some of the other imports of the other teams. And sa ABL talaga important na you have the imports to match up with those of the other teams. Bobby Ray Parks Jr. has been playing really well. MVP level pa nga. I mean, he had that 42-point scoring game. But if you can have Parks play off these two new imports, especially in like pick and roll situations, that makes ALA much more deadly, and I like their chances of moving up the standings.
Follow-up question, Adrian. Na-sign si Raymar Jose and Achi Inigo for the Kaohsiung Truth. They're currently winless right now, but do you think they'll be a big factor itong mga kababayan natin para sa Kaohsiung?
Well, we saw them last year na parang just breaking into the team now. With Kaohsiung kasi they rely so heavily on their starting five, they barely get any bench production. So the fact that you're adding those two guys coming off the bench or maybe even swapping around with the starting five, I think it'll be interesting that they will now be able to have fresher legs, especially in the end game. So, and given that they played for a great collegiate program in FEU, I think they have what it takes to make an impact for that team and to help them finally get into the win column.
And I think that's one of the most exciting things about the ABL, yung mga kino-cover natin sa UAAP, nakakapaglaro sa ABL, gaya na lamang na ating kaibigan at kasama na si Mikey Reyes. A lot of our colleagues are also covering the ABL here and abroad. At abangan po ninyo, Mix Bustos will be commentating on the ABL soon. So another league that we're going to be covering upcoming this month is the NCAA, and the volleyball season is going to start. A lot of storylines. So women's volleyball, Gretzel Soltones, will she finally win her first ever women's volleyball title?
I think yun talaga yung burning question kasi right now they're on the top of the standings with a perfect record, and it's really up to the team to perform in the finals because we saw them get to the finals several times already, but right now hot on their heels is CSB, the defending champions, and at 5-1, I don't think a lot of us expected that such a strong start given some of their losses during the off season. So it will be interesting, and I think na this upcoming second round will really tell the fortunes of those two teams right now at the top of the standings.
Go ahead, Anton. Go ahead.
Yeah, sorry, Migs. I was gonna talk about the men's division also kasi we also had a very historic season. Yung Perpetual nag-champion dethroning Emilio Aguinaldo College last season. But right now, they're 4-1 in the team standings. And surprisingly, ang San Beda College ang nangunguna with 6 wins and 1 defeat.
Yeah.
Well, Adrian, what can you attest to for the men's side?
I think really when you look at it really speaks to the volleyball men's division in the NCAA gaining legs, so to speak, na parang hindi lang Perpetual na yung palaging nag-reign on the top of the standing. So San Beda right now is a really good story for us to keep following as we go into 2017.
Well, Anton, malipat naman tayo from the NCAA to the UAAP. Ito, nag-champion ng De La Salle Lady Archers with Kim D, the reigning MVP. Do you think they'll go for a repeat? And ngayon, pagbabalik na ni Kim Fajardo for her last year.
The two Kims.
Yeah, the two Kims, yes.
It'll be interesting to see how they reload, so to speak, kasi wala na nga si Ara Galang and Mika Reyes. So that team will have a bit more untested talent added to their ranks this season. Same with Ateneo, who of course course, will not have Alyssa Valdez anymore. So the setter matchup will still be interesting with Julia Morado there, and again, as we mentioned, versus Kim Fajardo. But if you look at the rest of the teams, I mean, it's basically a wide open competition because UST could go far, UP keeps improving every year, Adamson has a revamped coaching staff, FU still has Bernadette Pons. It will be really exciting to watch that when it starts.
And one of the teams na hindi mo nabanggit, Adrian, yung NU, na champion sa Shakey's V-League. Ano sa tingin mo ang magiging chance ng NU na umabot sa finals? During the previous season, marami nagsasabi na this team, with Myla Pablo as team captain, had the potential to dislodge LaSalle as one of the top 2 teams in the league. This year, do you think na the hype will finally become real for the Lady Bulldogs?
I think it depends on how Jaja Santiago plays, because as we always say, you know, there's no player like her with her combination of height and skill and talent. But then when you look at it when they play, sometimes she just doesn't get the ball at certain situations, and you wonder why aren't they going to Jaja more often? So if given, as you mentioned, wala na nga si Myla Pablo, if they really have less scoring options and other than to keep going back to Jaja Santiago, she might put up MVP level numbers, but then if she's the only person there doing the work for the Lady Bulldogs, that might be a problem. They might have a hard time going up against the field.
Nabanggit mo nga, Adrian, with NU, LaSalle, Adamson with the revamped coaching staff with Michelle Gumabo at the helm. And speaking of Adamson, mapunta naman tayo sa juniors basketball. Ngayon, undefeated ang Adamson Lady Baby Falcons. And do you think they can go all the way?
I think so, because if you look at their roster, they have so many weapons on that team. And if you look at the teams we expected, Zobel is struggling right now. Ateneo has several grade 11 players, if I'm not mistaken, but nobody really to step up and fill that leadership void with the exit of Jola Mendoza. FEU, I think, is a dark horse with players like NG Roman doing well. And of course, the defending champions, the NU Bullpups, are also a strong team. But right now, Adamson seems to play in a league of their own, in a class of their own. And so, given that their head coach, I saw a report na he's being linked to the under-16 team, that's a good foundation for him to bring some of his players over to the national side.
It's been a while nga since nag-champion ng Adamson Baby Falcons in the UAAP Juniors. The last time was 1993, 1994 UAAP season. At yung starting point guard nila na si Jojo Anteporda, nakasama natin dito sa The Score. Tingin mo ba siya yung player to watch dito sa Baby Falcons, or do you see other players that we should pay attention to?
Well, as I mentioned kanina, Ateneo really doesn't have that go-to guy quite yet, but the guy who's being sort of groomed into that position is SJ Belangel. And we know all about his scoring exploits, dropping so many points while he was in the province. I think na if Ateneo is going to make a late run in the Final Four, he has to step up and not only just score, but he has to run the team as the point guard. As you mentioned, his Adamson counterpart right now is playing really well. So he sort of has to match that level of intensity.
So, huwag tayo medyo lumayo sa basketball kasi sa NBA, next month, All-Star Weekend na, Adrian. So, ano bang kailangan natin ika-excite dito sa parating na All-Star Weekend ng NBA?
What fascinates me is the fact na sa Western Conference All-Stars, you might have a starting starting unit of James Harden, Russell Westbrook, and Kevin Durant. Okay. three guys who are former teammates. And now they might all start from different teams sa Western Conference. So I find that interesting. Like, how will Russell Westbrook treat Kevin Durant? Thus, we have James Harden, who's putting up almost as many triple-doubles as Westbrook. So that for me is a fun thing to watch.
I'm very happy we're talking about the NBA, given that all of us are writing. Siyempre, ang boss natin nandito sa NBA PH. Last night, one of our good friends and our favorites, si Hoopnut, Enzo Flo, was here talking with TJ about who is the MVP right now, Russell Westbrook or James Harden. At ang sinabi lang ni Enzo, ang hirap sabihin eh. Pero if at the end of the season, makapasok sa playoffs ang Oklahoma City, he feels that Russell Westbrook should be given some consideration. Pero kung hindi sila nakapasok, Harden should be the MVP. I want to get your answer para sa'yo. Kung tapos na ang NBA season right now, who's the MVP? James Harden or Russell Westbrook?
Kung right now, I think it has to be Westbrook, simply for the fact na he's averaging a triple-double, and we haven't seen that in such a long time. Na parang that's historical. That's a sort of extra kick to say in your voting process. Kasi when you really think about it, doing that level of statistical brilliance across the board is truly really rare in the NBA. Now, Harden in fact, just this past weekend, we saw him put up like one of the best triple doubles with the 53, 16 rebounds, 17 assist game. But to do what Westbrook's doing on a consistent basis, I don't think it has been seen in the modern era of the NBA, going back to Oscar Robertson pa ata. So if it were to end today, right now, for me, it's Westbrook.
Okay, so mapunta naman tayo from international to local to international. How about our, ating mga kapamilya, kababayan na sila Eliza Valdez, Kiefer Ravena, they want to make it, Eliza's going to Thailand, Kiefer's in the States, and Kobe Paras also is in the States.
Right.
How do you think the 2017 will fare for them?
I think and it's not a slam on Kobe Paras or Kiefer Ravena. I think the one with the best chance of success, immediate success, siguro is Eliza Valdez, simply because I think she's expected to get much more playing time compared to the other two. Now, si Kobe Paras naman, he's on the Creighton Blue Jays, who are going on such a great run in the NCAA, but that team is built to go long in the tournament. So right now, they don't have the sort of the time to sort of develop some of their younger players. They're gonna lean much more on their veterans. As for Kiefer Ravena, we know sa rules na parang since he's a developmental player for the team, he can't actually be called up quite yet to the NBA. Parang special in designation niya among the other D-League players. So what he's actually after is to sort of impress the D-League, the Texas Legends team, para he has the chance to represent or sort of be called up kapag may summer league na for the Mavs. So mas long-term talaga yung process niya. So he's basically there training with the team, sort of getting himself in shape. Tapos kapag summer league time na, and if the team is really impressed with what he's doing, they can recommend him to the Dallas Mavericks summer league coaching staff to maybe sort of see how he can do against not really higher, but a next step siguro to say in the level of competition.
And Kiefer Ravena making it to the NBA is actually one of my 5 wishes.
Yes, which we will see.
Yeah, we will see sa NBA PH. Aside from wanting to see Space Jam 2 this year and LeBron James in the dunk contest, sabi nga nila, libre naman mangarap. So Adrian, a lot of exciting things to look forward to here in 2017. Thank you so much for coming here to The Score. We'll see you again. Maraming salamat.
No problem, guys.
Hi guys, keep watching The Score for the latest sports updates, and don't forget to subscribe to the ABS-CBN Sports in Action YouTube channel.